what is the UiPath framework and how it works in the real-time industry.
Uh, sure. Thank you so much, Hari. So, I want someone to go ahead and explain what have been completed so far. Though Hari have all the recordings for the first 1 week. So let's go with. Let's take the chance to Ramya. Ramya, can you please unmute and talk? And please explain what happened till now for the last 1 week.
Sorry, Vajrang, if it's someone so that I can also listen. So last 2, 3 class I didn't attend.
Okay, so tell me what you have attended, then we can talk to other persons.
Yeah, first class it was RE framework.
Mm-hmm. Okay,
So should I need to explain it?
no need, no need. Just go ahead. Let's see.
Sorry, can you come again?
No need to explain. Please go ahead.
Yeah, we just covered RE framework and then some basic interview questions,
Mm-hmm.
and then we just worked on few resumes.
Okay,
Yeah, after that I don't know. I didn't check the recorded videos.
okay. So let's go with Vali. Vali, can you explain the remaining things?
Hey, hi, Hari. After that, we have created PDD documents for a couple of use cases. Then Vachran gave one scenario um, to create the workflow. So it's like some creating the records for it. It's like a dispatcher queue and a performer queue. So we have read that he made two groups, and yeah, we have completed that. So basically, we work all the workflows on RE frameworks. So we got to know how it is working. That's the thing. So far, it's till now we have learned.
Thank you so much, Vali. Hari, I'm not going to explain further because most of it is being covered. So please go ahead and check. You'll have. Do you have the team access or not? Like I have given you the team access, right? Do you have the access for it?
Yes, I just logged in.
Uh,
Just give me a moment. I'll be connecting through my laptop.
sure. And there should be a batch to RPA 38 developers. Just go ahead and check. If you are not able to access that particular folder, just post it in the teams. Others can help you out. Okay. Okay.
Sure.
Any what happened to Praveen's Kiran's interview by Kiran or Rahul, right? Rahul.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
fine.
Yeah.
Hello.
Rahul, tell me.
Yeah, it's all scenario-based interview, so
Okay.
it's not yet well.
Okay.
So they asked me 2, 3 scenarios.
Have you recorded the meeting?
No, means I didn't get chance to record it.
Just try to record everyone. If you are attending an interview, just try to record so that we can discuss. Because even if I ask you question now, you will not be able to exactly answer me what the interviewer have asked. So, do you remember, Rahul, what interviewer have asked?
Yeah, one question is like there is a queue
Mm-hmm.
and we are adding the items to the queue,
Mm-hmm.
but we want to execute some item on only Monday, and every other item is means running daily, but sum up item is we want to run sum up item only on Monday. So how we can do that?
Did you attend a UiPath interview by any chance?
Hmm?
Did you attend UiPath interview by any chance?
Yeah, this is the UiPath interview only.
Yeah, because I think this question is being asked in each and every interview, and I do have one of my friend who actually attended this, and I think the interview question is like this. There are first they asked you about queues, then they have asked you about if there is a if there are queues, then how will you update them, and there are two types of queues. uh, type A and type B. How will you make sure that type A executes, but later type B executes? Something like this, right?
Yeah, this interview is with UiPath only, means directly with the
Yeah, yeah,
client.
that's what UiPath direct
Yeah.
company interview. That's what the same question is being asked by everyone or to every person. So just if anyone else also attends this interview, I will prepare the question correctly because I have the recording, but I haven't checked it completely. But I'll check it. But let's check with the cues now. Why shouldn't we check with the cues and understand what the cues and how they will work? Will that be okay for you for today?
Okay.
Sure. So let's go ahead.
Sure, sure, it will be great.
Yep, Ganesh, tell me.
Yeah, sure, it will be a great.
Sure. So Rahul, if you okay, I'm not sure if your machine is too fast. Ganesh, can you please share the screen if you have access to Orchestrator?
Uh, Sharing my screen. Just a
Yeah,
second.
yeah, sure.
Can you see my screen?
Yes, we can. It would be better if it is a bit. Okay, that's fine. Please go ahead. I'll try to sponsors. Okay, go to queues. So what we will do, we'll use the same queue and go to UiPath Studio and let's create some transaction items.
Okay. Sorry, I have not opened it.
Okay. So everyone, please understand this will be a complete session on UiPath queues, so that you will be able to understand it better.
We will need a dispatcher process, right?
You can just open the web browser, attach browser, and do you have the dispatcher process?
Yeah, I have.
Okay, then open it. So let's go ahead. You're using open browser. Okay. Scroll down, please. Sales opportunity. Scroll down. Extract structure tables. Okay. What is the if condition?
If we didn't find any data, then it will not add execute this bulk add a queue item.
Good logic.
If there is a,
Scroll down. Okay, so what we'll do, we will in also while adding it to orchestrator queue, let's add an if condition. Scroll down. Do one
sorry,
thing.
let's.
Just add a right range activity before bulk add queue items.
Okay.
So we'll have a separate dispatcher process to work on queues. Okay. Right range. Yeah. Okay. Right update the workbook path. Just write it as input.xlsx. That should be fine. And add the data. Why are you writing? That's not required if you are writing in the current directory. That's not required. It will take it by default. Data.xlsx would be working. Okay. Okay. Add the data table. Just run it once. Let's see.
Sure.
Okay, so go back to project, create a new file. Okay, can you add can you run it once again and add headers for this?
Yeah, sure.
No need to delete it, it will rewrite.
Just closing it.
Mhm. So there will be an option to add headers. First add headers. First add headers. Yeah. This add headers will add the column headers as well instead of just adding the data.
Right.
Okay, if someone is not talking, can you please yourself in mute? Thank you. Okay, leave it. That should be fine. So what we can do is, okay, we have column one, column account name and all. Okay, that should be fine. Go to code, and you can close this. I guess you can close this. Okay, go to code and add a dispatcher.
Excel.
Go to project and add a file, dispatcher. Project, yeah, sequence, dispatcher.
I have dispatcher also ready, right, in another.
No, let just go ahead and add it. That should be fine. Okay, so what we will do, instead of reading the data every time from the Excel, we will read it only sorry, every time adding data from website we will read it from Excel. Okay, so add read range activity.
Okay.
So yeah, you can add workbook, read range, select the file.
Just a second. Just a second. I will mute myself.
Sure. Okay, go and add the file path. You can click on the folder path and that will give you the correct data. So whenever possible, don't try to type in anything, just get the data from variables, either from the variables or anything. Copy and paste the data, but don't copy the data. That will be a best practice, because if you type in every time, there can be a lot of typos and you may miss some information. Okay, can you go back? Okay, sales data you have, and remove everything in the range A1 and A2, so everything will be red and it will be added into variable. Yep, create a data table DT, Control K to create a variable. Okay, now use a for each loop. Now check with queues. Let's see what are the different items do we have in queues. Activity, click on activity. No, activity in UiPath Studio. Activities, search for queue. So what are the different items? Add queue item will add only one item, that it will add it in a new state. Okay, remove the mouse from there. Yeah, thank you. So can someone tell me what is add transaction item?
So reading from and adding to the queue, transaction by transaction.
What is the difference between add queue item and add transaction item?
Add transaction item will go in progress when we add it to the queue. Okay. But whereas add to queue means it will be in the new state. It will start.
Okay, so drag and drop add queue item, drag and drop add transaction item. You can pin it. Give the access, please. Okay, and get transaction item. We need to know what is the difference between this. Postpone a transaction item. Okay, set transaction progress. Set transaction status and wait queue item. So I think most of you know what add bulk items, add queue items will do. So it will add bulk items, and a reference will be whatever reference that you are going to add. But the only strategy that you need to see is you will not be, I think you will not be able to add bulk queue items with unique key on in orchestrator. Just check with that. Okay, so input time specifies the amount of time to wait. Looking okay, so let's see with the first one. Can you please click on the first item, because I'm not able to do that using my mouse cursor. Yeah, okay, add queue item, click on add queue item. So what is the deadline? Can someone tell me what is the deadline? Normal, in general terms, let's go with the general term, general discussion. What is the deadline?
Deadline is just like ETA.
Estimated time of action. ETA is?
Yeah.
Okay. Deadline is something like when it should be completed, by when it should be completed. Okay, and information, so there are two ways how you can add. First one is by a collection. If you see here, so it will give you it will ask you add key and value pair. Here it's a collection. For example, if you have any data dictionary, so that dictionary values you can add. Both will give you the same result. Postpone. So what is postpone?
Time delay.
I need more specific answer. Can anyone else answer that?
Reschedule.
Reschedule. That's I need some bit of explanation. Like what is reschedule?
Like giving condition to execute after some time, like that.
No, I didn't get that. Can you please come again?
We are specifying when to process the item.
Correct. So we are not specifying when to process the item. We are specifying how much time can we stop the processing of item. For example, if I add a queue item today, but I want to process it on Monday, then what should I do? I should add postpone item to the next Monday, so that the item will be updated that it should be processed on Monday. Okay, but what is priority? There are three priorities: normal, medium and high. Normal, high and low. So anything with low will be taken at the last. Reference is the name that you will see while you're checking with orchestrator. If you have checked with the orchestrator, so this is reference that you haven't added, but you can add. Okay, so this is like a filter, where if you want to filter something, see, if I want to filter India, I'm sorry, if I want to filter India, and I am not able to filter that because that is there in the transaction item specific content, but not in the reference. But if I want to have some specific keywords and I want to uniquely map it, For example, each and every transaction item will have a customer ID as a unique value. So so if I add my customer ID as 9492, that's my number. So this will search with all the transactions that are with this particular reference. So that's why this reference will be used. Okay, now let's see this one. So when you add a queue item, it will be always in new state. So that there are different states in orchestrator. So if you see filters and see the revision, okay, let's see. Okay, status. So there are multiple status: new, in progress, failed, successful, abandoned, retried, and deleted. So what is abandoned?
Yeah, after 24 hours, like if the status will be in the in progress, after 24 hours, it will be changed to abandoned state.
Okay, if I take a transaction item for processing, but if I did not set the status, so after 24 hours it will wait till 24 hours to make sure the status is set. But if it is not able to set it, then it will move it to abandoned state. What is deleted? Praveen, what is deleted?
Yeah, if we manually delete this, it will be changed to deleted, right? Correct me if I'm wrong.
No, not only manual deleted, even if you delete it from studio delete item, even then it will be deleted.
Okay.
What is in progress state? And in how many places will we get in progress state? Like, can anyone tell me how many activities can we use to make a transaction item to in progress state? Go ahead, give it a try. No problem, even if you answer it wrong.
Create queue item activity.
Create queue item. Will
Get queue item.
get queue item.
Get transaction item.
Get transaction queue.
Okay, so get transaction item and add transaction item will move a transaction item into in progress state. Okay, so the difference between add queue item and add transaction item is, someone have already mentioned, like add queue item will add the item only in new state. Let's have a breakpoint here. Okay, so what we will do, we will, for our ease, we will assign a queue name. Okay, and this queue name will be equal to this one, RPA sample sales. I'm not able to copy, so I'm just using this. So I will write it in double quotes since this is a string. So is RPA full capital or small?
Full capital.
See, that's the reason I want you to copy. So,
I don't know.
Ganesh, can you please copy it for me? Yeah. Okay, let's add it to queue name. So add queue item, let's give it as what is the folder path. If I want to add it to a separate folder path, I can do that. And the reference item, okay, we'll do something like this. So add queue item, queue name we'll give it as queue name. So the string that we have added just now. Okay, the reference we will go ahead and give with the name. So what do we have? So column 0 we can take it as a reference. Let's do it a bit easier way. Let's take country as a reference. So everything with, if I want to check everything with country, I can do that. So reference. Okay, so is this correct?
Current
No.
row.
Yeah, I'm changing that. Okay, so now a queue item will be added with reference this, and a collection. Let's give out a collection. So what's the name? This is id. So id will be column 1, current row, column 0, I guess.
Column 0.
Yeah, column 0, and the second one is account name. I'll add only 2 items, or we can add only 1, that's fine, just to have the queue item, nothing else. So let's give out a deadline. So do you know how to give a deadline? This should be a date. So if you, I'm not sure if you are able to understand with date concepts, but anything with now is a keyword that will give you the current date. Dot will give you more options. So it will give you add days, add hours, milliseconds, add minutes, month, everything. So I want to postpone or have the deadline that I want to complete it by next Tuesday. So the current day is Monday, right? Or whenever I want to add it, I want to process it in after next 7 days. So the item can be like add queue item, add days. So if I want to add days, I need to give how many days do I need to add? 7. Okay, so this is what I'll add. And postpone is when I should make it process. So I'll postpone it by 3 days. So what I'm saying, I want to I want to execute this within 7 days, but I don't want to start this execution within 3 days. So 3 days I cannot process this item. Okay, and let's go ahead and delete this. So if you see here, there is no way to postpone an item or keep a deadline in add transaction item. This is always a queue item. If you see add queue item, the output for add queue item is not there because there is no output for add queue item. But if you see add transaction item, it will be a transaction item directly where we can get specific content. Okay, and reference we have queue name is same and transaction information is same as add queue item. There is no difference. Okay. Someone want to talk? Okay, so here we have add queue item. Rakesh, Rahul, can you tell me again what you are exactly asked for? Let's take this example table.
So some of the transaction needs to be run on only Monday.
Okay.
Like we can take USA item can be run only on Monday.
Okay, so everything that that's with USA item should run on Monday, right?
Yes.
So let's pick up a day. So let's see what is the current day. Okay, we can write a switch condition here. Again, I'm talking with respect to the scenario. Why do we need switch condition? Can we write if else condition? Yes, I can do that. So in switch, what I can do now dot sorry now dot day of the week. So what day of the week will give me?
Today's day.
So current day of the week dot toString. So anything with default will still be default. So what is this asking? This allows conversion from string to integer. Okay, let's see online and let's see what how to get the day.
N should be capital. Now
That's fine.
date time dot now dot day of the week.
Will it work?
Yeah, I tried it.
Okay, date time dot so now and date time now will give you the same result. Date time dot now dot day of the week. Is this correct?
Yes.
So why is it throwing me an error then?
Remove toString.
Then it will give me an integer. Okay, I got it now. That's not the problem with this one, that's the problem with this one.
Yeah.
Okay, so by default everything will come in here and the other. Okay, let's also add it to dot to lower. So to lower will convert that particular string into lowercase. So I will take it on Monday. Okay, so on Monday what I'll do is I will get all the transaction items that should run on with reference. Okay, filter strategy that should get items with reference as India. Okay, and Tuesday I would like to run with France. So let's check with this one, is it coming or not, then we'll go ahead. Okay, so we are adding all the queue items. Let's see default and just add a log message to see what is the current day of the week, if it is not Monday, and if we are getting anything else. Let's see how we are getting. Okay, so what do we have? What's the error that we are having? So here postpone item we can delete. Okay, but if you see properties, postpone item will take input as transaction item. Like if we are adding a add transaction item, we can postpone it using postpone transaction item. Okay, delete. So let's go ahead and delete. Set transaction progress, we can set the custom progress instead of setting it to success, failure or anything else. We can set progress as per our requirement. So we will use this get transaction item. So set progress, we'll set the progress as well. This we can use, and set transaction status also we will use. Okay, wait queue item will actually wait for any new queue item, but let's not take that now. Okay, so let's go ahead and do this dispatcher process. We are reading a range. Once we have an item, we are adding it to queue item, and once we have a queue item, we need to get a queue item, right? So for that we are using this. But why do we have an error? One or more children have validation errors. Can someone tell me how I can solve this? Just guide me up. What is transaction item here?
Yeah, queue name is not mentioned.
Okay. So why don't we have a queue name? I think that's with queue name. Yep.
Okay.
And transaction item, I'm trying to add a new transaction item. Okay, so here what should be the progress, what should be the input here?
Transaction item.
New transaction item. And what is the progress?
In progress.
So progress can be anything. For example, get transaction item will move it to in progress state, right? What I will do now is I will write in progress as now.toString. Okay, this can be a custom progress state. Okay, let's have a breakpoint here, and let's see with get transaction, set transaction. So what is set transaction status? What is the input for set transaction status? New transaction item, that's correct. And this can be, so if there is any error, then we will have these business rule exceptions if it is transaction error. But if we don't have anything, then we'll go ahead with successful. So do you know what is output and analytics? Okay, let me add it up for you. So output is something that you will see in the transaction item. If you see, it is open view transaction items, and if you see view details, see here there is an output values as well, right? Along with add queue items, like this is the specific data that's there. This is an input, but after completing this, if I want to see the transaction item result, I can see it directly from here instead of seeing in anywhere else. Okay, so that we can set it from UiPath Studio. So the key is we can write anything. I am writing as result, and the result is any value, like I am writing it as now.toString to make sure that toString and then plus successful. So this is what I want to add. Okay, so can we run this process? Is it connected to orchestrator? Ganesh? Hello. Who is sharing the screen? Ganesh, right?
Yeah.
Ganesh, can you please unmute and talk? Oh, you are trying to unmute. Okay, sorry.
Vajran, are you recording everything, right?
Yes, this is getting recorded.
Okay, thank you.
Sorry, I was not able to unmute myself. Mouse was hanged. Sorry, what we want to do now?
Yep. So all I need is I just want to know if the orchestrator is connected to studio or not. Okay, let's see. Let's debug and see. Let's add a breakpoint. Debug. Okay, this is because this is get executed by different process. So let's close the window and yes, and then if I need not run it again. I just need to retry it so that this will be executed. So see, there are important windows that we can check. In the output window we'll see all the logs and output. In the locals we will see all the current execution local panel, like what are the values that we have for the current variables and current arguments at the current time and scope. If you see, current row is one data row, and sales data is a complete data table, and display name is this current body. So these are the properties, everything we can see in here. And watch is something where we want to see anything that we require. Current row. So if I want to see anything in current row, that will be updated. This is the watch panel, and here if you see, the input is France and Jane Pebble close worked. So this is what we have. Okay, and let's see how this will progress. Step into the first one is France, right? So though it is added to the queue, we cannot get it because the transaction item is. Can anyone tell me what will be the transaction item? Unmute. This is the time you need to speak.
New
transaction item.
Okay. Let me just add it to items per page. Should be. I'm sorry. Did I do something wrong? Okay, got it. Just a second. Okay. So I want to change this to 50. So I'll select everything and I will delete it. Remove the items. Okay. So there are no items currently, and let's go with this add queue item. Step into. So it completed adding one item, and let's see with the value. So we have one new item with reference as France. Okay, and the deadline we have it for 9/13, so that is in 7 days from now, and 9/9, that is 3 days from now. Okay, so will we get this transaction item if we use get queue item? Can anyone tell me? Simple logic. Get transaction item will take one item, and so if you see here the details with the status, these are the details, and this is the specific content ID. So will we get this item or not using get queue item or get transaction items?
It won't get till 9th of September because we are postponing till then.
That's correct answer. Okay, so what will get transaction item will give me now?
First item or based on the deadline or the priority of the queue.
Okay, if you see get transaction item, the output of get transaction item is new transaction item, right? So the new transaction item is null. Though there are queue items, current properties of the queue doesn't allow to take any item. Okay, so we are not getting any item, and this will throw any exception because we are giving it a null value. See here, that is because in the output, if you see transaction progress object reference not set to instance of an object, because there is no value in this variable, that's an output, that is a null value, but we are setting null to some status. That is the reason we are getting this error. So let's stop, let's see if we can change this a bit so that this can be executed. Properties, so let's remove it, let's remove the postpone for now, just keep a deadline. So if you have a deadline, it should be completed before the deadline. Okay, postpone, it will stop processing the bot before that item. So let's go ahead and let's see. So add queue item, we will add again one more item. Let's go ahead and debug the file again. And I'm not sure how many of you might have observed, this went into this one because today is Monday. Okay, if today is some other condition, so let's stop. If it is not Monday, then it will not execute in case Monday. Okay, so let's debug this again. Step into, so we are adding one more queue item, and if you go back and see, there are two new items, but there is no postpone. So will we get this item or not? So will we get a new item or not using get transaction item? Yes or no? I want the reason as well.
We will get.
How many of you will say that we'll get an item? Please raise the hand. Soumya, Karthik, Prashant, Maha, Pragati. Okay, Maha actually raised the hand and she dropped it. Maha, why?
No, I think we will get it. By mistake, I clicked it again.
Okay, Rahul and Sonam, Valli, why will not get it? Hari, why do you think that we will not get a transaction item? Yes, Valli, you talk? Yeah, please talk.
It may be because of that country reference name, that unique name. I'm not sure.
You
So
are
that
absolutely correct. So while in get transaction item, in the properties we clearly mentioned that we need the reference as starts with India. So what is the reference that we have in this one? So you're absolutely right, and let's also see the result. So again the new transaction is null, and step into this is an error. Okay, let's stop. Okay, so to make it more easier, let's go ahead and use this object repository. We'll go into properties and we will remove this reference, so that we'll get an item. So will get any item irrespective of the reference. Okay, so let's debug. So I think others who raised the hand now got the answer why that's not correct. Step into add queue item. We are adding one more queue item, get transaction item. So if you see, now we have one item, and that one item is having item key, properties and all, but important thing to see here is the specific content. ID is 1. Okay, transaction time is this, it is set to status to in progress state. But if you go back and see in the orchestrator, there is one item. So we'll take all the items, but we will add France as a reference, so that we'll get only the item that we have. So this is the item that came in. See, the first item that's added is what picked, it's not this one that's added later. So this is in progress state, the status. Let's add what will be the in progress state after we set the progress. So we updated the progress, and here we go. So let's go and see the progress. Let's just a quick refresh. So again this is in progress state. Let's see what is something that updated. Comments 2 minutes ago, I don't think so. In progress state, edit status, it's created a bit later, but let's see what can be the continuation. It should ideally have status in progress. Okay, let's continue to see what is the set transaction status will do. Find me how this set transaction progress will work, because I think I am not able to get the status here. But if you go ahead and refresh back, it will be moved to success state. Okay, so if we continue executing without any breakpoints, let's remove the breakpoints, continue. Each and every item will be picked, and each and every item will be moved to success state. Okay, so Rahul, did you understand your interview question?
Yes, I understand.
Okay, I think there is also one more question, like what if there is no reference? Okay, this is again interview
Yes.
question for you. So we updated this with Monday, or we are saying that okay, we are taking reference, and anything that on Monday we are taking only India. But what if there is no data in reference? If it is there in specific content, view details, specific content. So if you have any data in specific content, how will you process that item? So I want this to be a homework. You can take it as a homework. Just try to find out a solution, like within this use case, if the reference is not given and if the reference is same for everything, how can you make sure that you run a specific item on a specific day without this reference. Okay, so you can stop today's so that's it for today's training session. I think we are up for the meeting. We completed the training session for the day. So any questions so far, please let me know. So yes, who's this? Please tell your name.
Yeah, Praveen here, Vajran.
Tell Prem.
Yeah, I got one interview question like when we are adding the items to the queue, let's say we have the sensitive information. So if we are uploading to the queue, like we have to mask some of the data, like let's say the trade number or the counterparty name. So when adding the items to the queue, how can we mask the data, some sensitive information? Is there any option?
Yes, see, ID we cannot do it, but anything with respect to, like, there should be some data to process. But if you just want to mask it, like for the first 4 digits in the mobile number, the last 4 digits should be visible, but remaining number should be hidden. Just you need to replace the first 6 numbers.
Okay.
Okay, that's masking.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
Okay. So Ganesh, I think someone is asking, so Pragati is asking to upload the data or file. So you can do that here, and tomorrow let's add everything to GitHub. Okay, I think that's pending item. So let's work on GitHub as well tomorrow. Any more questions? Please go ahead and ask.
I did not understand the set transaction status. Can you go to the workflow, please?
Set transactions. Sorry.
No, the workflow.
Yeah. Okay. So please go to the workflow. Ganesh, you need to share the screen. Later you can reply. Go to set transaction status. So there are two different things: set transaction progress and set transaction status.
Yeah. So what was the
set transaction status will add only the specific items. Like there can be only status that are exception or error or success. Other than this, it cannot add anything. Set progress can add different values, but you see how can we work with set transaction progress. For example, there is a queue item and that need to be executed Monday, Tuesday, Friday, Thursday. So on Monday we run and we'll say that Monday completed, then Tuesday will pick up with every item that is with status Monday completed. So something like that can be a use case, but set transaction status is completely different.
Okay. Because I did not see any. I saw the successful status, but I didn't understand what is the use of the set transaction progress in the output result.
Exactly. I didn't find a value, so check it. Take it. Tomorrow I can answer that. Maybe I need to quickly check.
Okay, sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So the second thing is everything that's with India should be processed on Monday, and remaining items should be set to set transaction, should be set to business rule exception. Just check with that. Okay. So Ganesh, you can share the file and everyone can work with that. Thank you so much everyone.
Sure.
If you have any questions, please go ahead and ask them over chat and we'll try to reply.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
Thanks, Vajran.
Thank you. Have a great day. Bye bye.
Bye bye. Good night.
Bye.